You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Monday, happy Moon Day, and happy birthday to the Pisces of the world. Today, Elizabeth Taylor would have celebrated her birthday. Kate Mara is a Pisces. Josh Groban. Josh Groban just makes sense. If you've ever listened to Josh Groban's music, it's like so Pisces. John Steinbeck was also a Pisces. Anyone else popping out? Jenny Farley. I think that's Snooki's best friend from Jersey Shore, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Chelsea Clinton is a Pisces too. Chandler Jones, Tony Gonzalez, Adam Baldwin, not sure if he's associated with the other Baldwins. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was a Pisces as well. Of course, if it's your birthday, if someone you know is celebrating their solar return, give them a shout out in the comments so we can send some love their way as well. And the gang's all here on a Monday. Nick is here. Diane is here. Happy Monday to you, Corby. Hey, Bree. Hope your day is off to a beautiful start so far. So on this moon day, we're just talking about the moon. The moon is in Gemini. The sun is in Pisces. Last night, around midnight, was the first quarter moon. So we're really feeling the energy of the first quarter moon right now. And this is when the moon and the sun are squaring each other in the chart. We're a quarter way through the moon cycle. And at this point, we're starting to take action. We're starting to move forward. We have a lot of energy and activation to work with. And with the moon in Gemini, we might have a lot of mental activity happening today, especially with the sun in Pisces. It feels very floaty, very mental today. So I'd love to know where the Gemini moon is showing up in your chart. Here's a current look at the astrology chart. The moon in this moment, if you're joining me live, is at 15 degrees, but noticing where 15 to 20 degrees of Gemini falls in your chart, that's the area of your chart that's going to be activated the most today. So especially on a day like today where we're just talking about the moon, we're just feeling into the moon, it's a great day to take a look at where is the moon in your chart right now, and maybe where's the sun in your chart as well. The sun is at 9 degrees. So 9, 10, 11 degrees of Pisces really going to be activated over the next couple days, illuminated, if you will. Gemini moon is hitting my 8th house. Okay, shining light on the darkness. We love that. Maybe taking some deep internal action. Wow. Very disturbed sleep this morning. Okay, well, we're going to talk about what was going on this morning in just a moment, but there's a lot of mental activity, and the moon is probably moving from your 12th house to your first house, right, Diane? So that makes sense that it's really affecting your sleep, with the 12th house being a very sleepy energy. And of course, Mars is right there for you too. So yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Hi, Claudia. Happy to have you here. Good morning, Alyssa. Gemini in the 7th house, no placement. So relationships are being illuminated for you. Yes, your ascendant is 21 degrees. So tomorrow, that first house energy is going to kick in for you, Diane. Yes, please. Hi, Court. The moon is in my 3rd house right now on top of my Mercury. With Mercury, I am feisty today. I bet. Very communicative. I could definitely see that. Yeah, and Mars right there. Yeah. Feeling quiet, gonna do some grounding, yoga. I caught that. Mars, not Mercury. Yeah, so that's a little preview. The moon will be conjunct Mars tonight, and we're gonna dive into that in just a moment. All right, so the first quarter moon in Gemini. We talked about this being very mentally activating, and I feel especially so because it's the first quarter moon. Anytime we have the moon in Gemini, I always say our words are our greatest asset for processing our emotions, writing things down, talking things out, using our brain, ruled by Gemini, to process our emotions. But under the first quarter moon, it could feel like, especially with the moon conjunct Mars, you have a ton of mental activation. You've got a lot of energy, a lot of ideas coming through. And with the sun in Pisces squaring the moon, there could be a little bit of anxiety or tension because the sun is in Pisces making us a little more sensitive, more perceptive, not necessarily mentally perceptive, but perceptive using our sixth sense or our extra senses. So we're just really aware of all the energy, and with so much mental activation, it might feel like a lot. So remember, a moon day is, I know it's the start of the work week here in the United States and pretty much everywhere, but moon day is a time to just emotionally get right for the week ahead. So take some time today, nourish your body, take care of yourself, maybe get your house in order. So by Mars Day tomorrow, we're really starting to take aligned action. Although if you're really feeling it today and you're like, I got this idea, I want to jump on it, you know yourself best. And the moon is conjunct Mars tonight, so that would make sense. Okay, but let's backtrack. 5 a.m. Pacific time, so 8 a.m. Eastern time, what many of us woke up feeling was a sextile between the moon and Jupiter. So I'm just going to backtrack here on the chart, and you can see Jupiter at 11 degrees, the moon at 12 degrees, still forming that sextile to Jupiter. A sextile is a supportive angle, so you might have woken up this morning with a little pep in your step, a little boost of energy, optimism, being able to easily see the bright side of things. And also this transit just feels like it brought some confidence, like looking ahead to the week with optimism, with a growth mindset, really activating our ability to see the bigger picture and to be excited and optimistic about what comes next, about the big picture. So love starting the week with the Jupiter transit, especially a nice sextile to Jupiter. It just feels like a great start, a great way to start. Diane says lots of insights and downloads coming through, feeling very in tune with everything, taking advantage of all the ideas coming through. Mars getting ready to cross over your ascendant in the next few days too. So yeah, you're like in major receiving mode, Diane, of just like tuning in, like you said, lots of intuitive things happening in order for you to be able to take action once Mars and the moon move into your first house. Love this for you. So all of us feeling that sextile to Jupiter first thing this morning, but then you'll notice why I left the chart up here. The other planet that the moon is connecting to today, or in the first part of the day, is Chiron. So the moon also formed a sextile to Chiron right after that sextile to Jupiter. And I want to pause here and show you this look ahead at some major transits we're going to have in the next week. So March 1st, we have a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter. Then later in the week, we'll have a conjunction between Venus and Chiron. And then following that will be the conjunction between Jupiter and Chiron, I think next week. But what I'm saying is Venus is getting busy this week. There's a lot of activation, big moments in relationships, in money. Jupiter conjunct Venus, let that money flow. It feels very abundant, but also with Chiron in the mix, whatever's happening could provoke some wounding, and it could also provoke some healing. So just a little note on the energy we're heading into, and what we'll likely be talking about quite a bit this week is that conjunction between Venus and Jupiter. And we're already starting to feel it. So you might have themes around relationships coming up, around money coming up, even around beauty. But with Venus and Jupiter both in Aries, it feels like this new chapter, maybe an influx of some sort of money coming in. Fingers crossed. Yes, please. Now, we've talked about this with Venus and Aries too. Money can flow out very quickly as well. So wanting to be cautious, not overly spending or being overly optimistic about money. Everybody's in a different place with money and in relationships, right? But big moments in love, money, and beauty likely going to happen this week. Yeah, we'll take that money flow. I receive the money flow. Yes, please. Yeah, all conjunct your natal Jupiter in Aries. Wow, 24 degrees. So yeah, your Jupiter return is coming in the next couple months. And Venus is going to be moving over your Jupiter pretty soon here. It's a good season to be Diane. All I'm saying. So back to this morning, a little preview of all the transits ahead this week. We had the moon connecting with Jupiter in Aries, and then following up with that, a connection to Chiron in Aries. The moon forming a sextile to Chiron does feel supportive, but you might have noticed some wounding, some healing, maybe all in the same breath coming up this morning. With the moon in Gemini in this very mentally active place, and with it being the first quarter moon, feels like maybe an opportunity today to better understand our healing journey, to move forward on our healing journey, to observe our own shadows, our own wounds, so we can see new opportunities to heal them. With Jupiter so close by Chiron right now, I mean, they're basically conjunct in the chart. By all accounts, this is a conjunction, and there's abundance in healing ourselves. There are a lot of opportunities this week for healing. It feels more like healing than wounding with Jupiter so close by, and Venus close by too. So lots of healing opportunities this week. Sometimes they're disguised as little triggers, but if we know, okay, Jupiter is conjunct Chiron, there's opportunity here to grow in our healing. I think that can be really potent and really powerful. So that's the energy we're feeling today. We're moving into the conjunction with Mars tonight. Before we get there, what are you all saying? Not flat broke today, but I am going to pay some bills. Yeah, bills are coming up for a lot of us in the next couple of days. Interesting that we'll have a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter on the 1st, which is, a lot of times when bills are due. So yeah, it goes quick, Nick says. That might be that Venus-Jupiter conjunction for you, paying some bills. Or maybe you get paid on the 1st and you have an influx of money. Fingers crossed. Counting on it to fund my Italy trip. Yes, we are fully receiving of the money, universe. Please and thank you. And the healing. We'll also take the healing. Absolutely. Yeah, I know. One more day of February. One more day. Crazy. Counting on it. Counting on the money. Yes, please. I'm just going to keep saying yes, please, and picturing the money flowing to me. All right. Okay, so let's talk about this conjunction to Mars. That's really why we're all here, right? The moon is conjunct to Mars tonight. What does this mean for us? So this will happen right around 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll show you what that looks like on the chart. We'll jump ahead here, and you'll see the moon and Mars right there in Gemini. The moon conjunct Mars in Gemini. Mars feels like it's been in Gemini for freaking ever because we had that really long Mars retrograde. Mars is just finally coming out of its shadow period in the next week or so. So this conjunction between the moon and Mars in Gemini feels like it's really pushing us to take action. Again, the first quarter moon is playing into this as well. Now, the push to take action could show up as reactivity. thoughts coming in really quickly, ideas coming in really quickly, emotions coming through very quickly, which can make us more reactive, more impulsive. So we want to remember, especially with this all playing out in Gemini, which is very flighty and social and active, we want to remember that we have time. Pace yourself, slow your roll. If you're noticing your mind is being super active, lean into the Gemini moon, write down your ideas. Sometimes when I have a ton of stuff coming through, even just like a lot of things I need to do, which could definitely show up with the moon in Gemini conjunct Mars, like a ton of things popping up on your to-do list, just actually make a list. Get it out of your brain, write it down, tell it to someone else. That's very helpful for me, and it might be helpful for you too. If you're feeling the need to late tonight, take action, do something with all the mental activation, just write it down so you can come back to it later. For me, at least, that helps empty my mind and not be so like, okay, I have to hold on to all these things at the same time and juggle all of these ideas in my brain 24/7. So having a productive outlet for the energy, you might want to have a physical outlet for this energy too, because the moon conjunct Mars, it makes us want to move. So having a song on standby to dance it out to, having a free yoga video on YouTube ready to go if it's happening late at night and you need to kind of release some energy and calm into a more relaxed state. Maybe you're going on a run. Maybe you're going to the gym late tonight. Maybe you're working it out between the sheets. However you want to work it out, having a good outlet for that energy ready to go is going to be helpful. But it could be as simple as just writing it down, getting it out of your head, brain dump onto some paper. So expect more and more energy as the day goes on, to be honest, because the moon is getting closer and closer to Mars, and Mars is that physical energy. It's that stamina, it's that motivation, that drive to push forward. So it could even feel like late tonight, there's like this push happening in this moon cycle to get you to take the next step, to get you ahead on the journey that you're on, wherever you're at. And again, looking to where the moon in Gemini is in your chart, where this conjunction to Mars is in your chart. That'll give you an idea of where the most action, the most aligned action is happening in your life. So for example, I'm just going to use Diane as an example, because we know that the moon and Mars are conjunct in her 12th house. The moon will cross over into her first house, probably overnight tonight for her, maybe first thing tomorrow morning. But Mars in her 12th house, Diane's been doing a lot of healing, and she shared that with us. There's been a lot of introspection that's been going on, a lot of creative impulses as well coming through for her. And the 12th house can be very dreamy and creative, right? But she also mentioned, hopefully you're fine with me using you as an example, Diane, that she had interrupted sleep. Well, Mars in the 12th house can interrupt your sleep as well. So she's really feeling that 12th house activation. And then I'll just use myself as an example. The moon is in my 9th house, and so is Mars right now, right near my midheaven. So I know for me, because the midheaven is the highest point in the chart, it represents success and visibility. I'm like, okay, this is a good time this week for me to take action in my growth, in my philosophical mindset, learning new information. I've got a human design reading with Jackie in just a few minutes, so perfect with the 9th house energy. But also I've got some big moves I'm wanting to make in my business and in my career. And I know with Mars crossing over my midheaven, that's really aligned for me. So those are just two different examples. Looking at where Mars is, the moon is a good indicator of where Mars is today, and noticing, is there already action happening in this area of my life? Am I desiring to move forward in this area of my life? And how can I take aligned action with the moon and Mars together right now? It's a really great way to check in with our own motivations, because the moon is a very internal influence. So reflecting on what would be aligned action in this area of my life, and how can I take the next step? How can I use this energy, this push, to move forward today? It could just be one small step. It doesn't have to be changing your whole life, but one step leads to another step, and pretty soon you have your own live stream on YouTube, and you quit your job, and all the things. Hi, Rachel. A physical list would be good to remember it all and not forget stuff. I wish I had it next to me, but I bought a journal that's just like a regular journal. I'm not super attached to it. And it's literally my journal for brain dumping things and for lists. It's not pretty. I just keep making to-do lists. And then when that to-do list is not even done, but when I'm ready for a new list, when that one gets too messy, I just brain dump onto the next page. That's been super helpful for me. So I know you've got a lot of Virgo energy in your chart too. If you are like me and you've got a very active mind, it's been my go-to for many years to just dump things onto a list, or even on the notes app on my phone. I've got way too many notes, but just dumping things, saving them for later. She's like, absolutely, use me as an example. Horrible sleep for me last night, Rose says too, also a Gemini rising. Yeah, so very similar energy that's playing out, right, for both of you, because your charts are very similar. And that means that, I forget your rising degree, but Mars is probably close to your natal Chiron as well, because if I remember correctly, you have Chiron conjunct your ascendant. So healing action, playing into everything we said about Diane, but then adding a layer of healing onto it for you, Rose. Gemini energy, all of my Mercury people with our active minds. So that's the forecast. Hopefully this helped you think ahead for that conjunction to Mars that we're coming into, and just, all right, how can we channel our energy productively today, right? Yeah, Rachel, also a human ruled by Mercury. I do the same thing with my dump list. Sometimes I will split it up in days, choose one from my list to work on, add to it that day to finish, and if I don't finish, move it. Yeah, exactly. I just let it be messy. I've learned, like, if I try to use a planner, at least for me, planners are great for some people, but then I end up moving tasks to the next day, and it just gets super messy. So I'm just a big fan of, here's my current list that I'm working through. Wow, raining in Hawaii. Okay, yeah. So Mars is about to be right on top of your ascendant, Rose. Right on top. And it's conjunct your Chiron right now, too. And so the moon is right there as well. It makes sense. You're feeling a little restless right now. And yeah, the weather has been really gloomy here, too. Lots of rain here. So that adds a little bit of flavor into our experience, right? Wow, you guys have such similar charts in that 12 first house. Hello, beautiful. Happy to see you here. All right, so that's the forecast. Let's come back to our affirmation of the day. I am moving in the direction of my dreams. There's a lot of movement today. We're talking about the moon conjunct Mars. We're talking about the first quarter moon conjunct Mars. The energy is pushing us to move. So coming back to the idea of taking aligned action, using your birth chart, or really just whatever's on your heart today, to be like, okay, how are the actions I'm taking aligned with my biggest dreams, my highest self, my highest calling? It's Pisces season. So we're really thinking and dreaming of the possibilities and who we want to be and our spirituality and our place in the world, right? It's this very dreamy energy. And with the moon in Gemini conjunct Mars, it's like, okay, how can we channel our energy towards those dreams? How can we take aligned action towards our dreams today? And remember, it can just be one small step. It doesn't have to be a life-changing, life-altering move that you make. It could just be picking up your house, watering your plants, both things that are on my to-do list today. So taking aligned action, one small step. Yeah, Gemini sun and rising over here. Okay, so similar energy with the sun probably moving, the moon probably moving from your 12th house to your first house, activating your sun, Mars near your sun, I'm assuming too. So there's a lot of movement, a lot of renewal and rebirth energy that you're either feeling now or that's coming your way. I've committed to moving forward this season, making progress no matter how small, to making myself feel accomplished. Yeah, maybe just posting a little more on social media, putting that little signal out to the universe. Okay, I want to start creating more. I want more people to see what I'm creating. I think that could be one small action, maybe just designing something today and seeing what comes through. My dreams have been more direct, so I don't have to guess as much. Yeah, there you go. One small action. And maybe your dreams are becoming a healthier version of yourself. So the action you take is literally just moving your body today. Or maybe your dreams are, having clearer intentions. So the brain dump is like helping you to just clear your mind a little bit. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Oh, yes, a lot of abundance coming for you right now. Love that. Love that for you. Okay, we're going to finish up with a card pull from the Queen of the Moon deck by Stacey DeMarco, since we've been talking so much about the moon. And of course, it's Moon Day, so it only makes sense to pull from a moon deck. The cards want to come out for me here. And as always, this is your time to ask any final questions, share any final reflections. Tell me what aligned action you're thinking you'll take today. Whatever feels good for you. Remember, it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. Let it be easy. All right. And as I shuffle up here, we're going to take one nice big cleansing breath together, the deepest breath you've taken all day, breathing in from our root to our crown, holding at the top, and as we exhale, sending our energy into the cards, asking the universe, what do I need to know? Yes, looking for inspiration on art I can create today. Love that. I know the frogs have been your thing, Diane, and I've been thinking about you a lot, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cute to do like a little astrology frog series or like moon phase frog series? I don't know. I'm loving the frog illustrations, so maybe that could be something. Slowing down, doing yoga, yeah, moon in your 8th house, going within. Definitely that slow down feels very aligned. I missed the forecast, but had a lot of synchronicities come up today. Had a really powerful message come through. I am here to inspire people. Yes, you are. You are here to inspire people, and you inspire all of us, and we're so grateful to have you here. Showing up for my stretch and spin bike for movement. Beautiful. Releasing that energy. Filling orders, week to come reading at 6 p.m. You have your Mercury in Gemini, so this is a great day for you, Alyssa, to be speaking and communicating. I forget what degree it's at, but the moon definitely activating your Mercury in Gemini. Perfect for your week to come reading. If you are all interested in tarot readings, like actual tarot readings, Alyssa does a free week to come reading on her Instagram at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So that's the Gold Country Witch, and you can go receive a free reading from her on Instagram. Yeah, make it quick, make it easy. Creative time for you. Definitely healthy. Hi, Nikki. Yeah. Okay, lots of people going to yoga tonight, having a business working hour. Yes. Using the energy to its highest purpose. That didn't really make sense, but you know what I'm saying. Going to mail stuff, pay some bills, chill, and enjoy the rest of the slow, rainy day. Upgraded my device. All right. Okay. Thank you all for sharing your plans and how you're using this energy. It's powerful just putting it out there, right? Just saying, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm using this energy. Ooh, Rose says, my dream said I need to work on my red root chakra so that I can eventually work on that crown. So you saying from your root to the crown just reminded me of my dream again. I had a dream that I left my dogs in the dryer last night. Corby, I don't know what that means, but it inspired me to make them a vet appointment because I've been putting that off. And I'm like, I think my subconscious is telling me I need to take care of the dogs. I don't know, random. But I love that the root to the crown sparked that in you. Going to a sound bath tonight. Perfect, Rachel. Perfect for you. Okay, here we go. Let's take that deep breath all together. Breathing in. Hold and release. What do we need to know? Ooh, Supermoon card is the card we pulled. Card number 44. You know I love a double number like that. And the message is attraction. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Okay. All right. Card number 44. Ooh, it's the very last card in the deck, too. Love when that happens. Okay, here is the message. Attraction. You can be magnetic to others and attract the good things in life. You can repel what you no longer wish to attract. Be ready for opportunity. Avoid extremes that might cause negative imbalance in your body or mind. Think of connections greater than yourself. I can attract what I wish and repel what I do not. A supermoon is a full moon that is the closest distance from the Earth in its revolutions. It is also referred to as a perigee moon. The supermoon looks huge in the sky, and being so close to the Earth, it influences the oceans more than usual, causing more extreme tides than are normal. These changes in gravity and force are certainly noticeable, and for most people who follow the cycles of the moon and do magical workings aligned with them, it is the energy of supermoons that is the most important. If a normal full moon gives us an opportunity to have rocket power under our intentions, a supermoon greatly magnifies this energy into a supernova. If we are growing, we all want to attract experiences into our lives. This can be positive relationships, a lifestyle that suits us better, clarity, love, prosperity, creativity, the list goes on. Equally, we also perhaps wish to be able to repel the experiences we don't want. It is important then to not just know what we want, but to be able to recognize what we don't. Attraction isn't just about what we accept, but also how we discern. Blindly attracting everything we think of into our lives rarely makes us happy, but being focused about it does. This card also suggests that we think globally and for the whole. If you are making intentions on the supermoon, include one for the planet. Love this. Really backs up the message of taking aligned action. No, we're not experiencing a supermoon right now per se, but we are experiencing the first quarter moon conjunct Mars, really giving us that push we've been talking about. And so this card is just that confirmation that you can attract whatever you want into your life. One small step can have a snowball effect. So be intentional about what you're attracting. Be intentional about who you're connecting with, taking those aligned actions, keyword being aligned. And the moon is helping you move in the direction of your dreams. Got a new hair color today while shopping in the mall. Very, very on point for the moon conjunct Mars. Like, I gotta do something. Yeah. I spent no more burning scalp from last hair place. Oh gosh. Red come through also for Diane in a dream last night. It was a red bulldog, all bright red. I have some crazy ones sometimes. That was one of 3. I'm sure the symbol of red was the goal there. Interesting that red came through for both of you with Mars in the 12th house. Interesting. Had a dream my cell phone was melting. Kirby, I love hearing y'all's dreams and that you remembered me and are taking actions based on them. Yeah. That's what I learned in the dream workshop I just took. The best way to honor your dream is to acknowledge it and share it and then act on it. So it was very distressing. Like, I had in my dream, I left my dogs in the dryer for multiple days. Like, what? That would never happen, just to be clear. First of all, I would never put my dogs in the dryer. But yeah, so that was what's going on in my subconscious. Love that you're all sharing yours as well. Ooh, big earthquake in Turkey today. Yeah, crazy. Over the past year, I think I've been getting messages from those who have passed. I initially thought I've just been having the most random thoughts abruptly popping into my head, but I told my mother-in-law and she was so surprised that I knew stuff no one else knew. Woo-hoo-hoo, love that. That's pretty cool. Lean into it. Lean into that gift, Rose. The action of the magnet drawing, the red coming up as an action color with Mars, so many conjunctions in Aries. Yeah, the power of the moon, the super moon. Yeah. You got one of Kat's clear pucks for your phone. Great idea. It's not I know she gave me credit, but it was not my idea. But yes, I can't wait to pick mine up from her. Yes, and the card mentioned rocket, supernova. It's an explosive card. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, definitely. Like the rocket energy that it talks about, the kind of explosive energy, definitely signaling the moon conjunct Mars. If we don't have an outlet for our energy, it can be reactive, it can be explosive. So that's good to point out as well. You know, there's a reason they call it seeing red when you get angry. The moon conjunct Mars can make us a little aggravated and a little angry, which is why it's so important to have an aligned outlet for that energy. And then it kept going. Then I received messages from my brother's girlfriend who recently unexpectedly passed away, told my family, and they were shocked and happy at the same time. Mom now says I'm a medium. I think you might be. That's amazing. That is so cool, Rose. I had a dream I broke my favorite pipe. We all were just very active dreamers last night, weren't we? So cool. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Transits today. I hope that this helps you have sort of a plan in mind for any excess surges of energy that pop up, or aggravation or irritation. Remember, moving your body, having an outlet for your mind, very helpful today. And it's almost like all these active dreams where we're seeing red or something distressing is happening might have been our subconscious preparing us. For those of us who did have pretty potent dreams, could have been our subconscious preparing us for that surge of energy, the first quarter moon conjunct Mars. I'm not going to say accidents are possible, but don't move too quickly tonight either. Really tapping into your power, your alignment, not only taking aligned action, but being aligned from within, as we talked, from root to crown, like making sure you don't have any stuck, stagnant energy within you that's going to cause some inflammation or irritation to come pouring out, right? So finding that safety in your body so you can take aligned action. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Sending you love right back, Rachel. And a beautiful start to your week. We've got a powerful week ahead. Tomorrow is all about the moon again. And then we get to talk about that Venus-Jupiter conjunction on Wednesday. I'm sending you all so much love. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who continue to show up, to support each other, to share your insights and your gifts in this community. This would not be possible without you. And if you're new here, welcome to the community. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel so we can keep these forecasts coming to you for free every weekday. Sending you all love always, even when I'm not live streaming, and I will see you tomorrow. So glad to see you pop in. But whenever I see you next, until then, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.